Welcome to the Good Karma Sportfishing podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So I was able to get out yesterday and fish the first pre-frontal of the season, and this is our first real pre-frontal we got coming through, and it's moving through right now. The wind's clocking around out of the southwest 15. It's raining this morning. So yeah, it's awesome. We needed this, and it's good timing because it's getting into November, and we need to see the natural. It's just natural for this all to happen. So as far as the water conditions over the past few days, the water conditions have been really green. It's been dirty water. You got that north wind, west wind, but I've been having, I've been getting the Wahoo bites when I do focus, and I've been focused. Yesterday I was 100% focused on Wahoo fishing. So, and I did that a couple days ago. So I did get one big Wahoo bite on a day it was really rough out there, and the fish didn't stick. So it is what it is. So it just happens. Some day you catch them all, some days you don't. And a lot of guys, I know guys that'll get 11 bites one day and won't catch any of them. So it just happens, man. And that's the nature of Wahoo fishing. One guy will catch 6, the next guy will have, I'll get 4 bites and one will stick, or one, I'll get 8 bites and they'll all stick. So it just is what it is. So I fished yesterday. I fished by myself. I needed to take some time and refocus. And I did some filming for the courses. I did some filming for the downrigger update as well. If you have not purchased the high-speed downrigging, the downrigger course on how I downrig, I'm getting ready to make updates to that course. I'm going to show you some new techniques and update that course, and then after that, the price is going to go up. So if you want to learn how I run my planer off my downrigger and some other things that I'm doing as well, aside from that setup, you're going to need to purchase that course here within the next few days, or actually the next week, because I'm going to be doing the updates this week. Alongside that, I'm going to show you new bait strips, stuff that I'm doing, and I'm going to update the spot finding course. After I make all the updates, the prices are going to go up. So everything's going to be changes of what I'm doing or what I've been doing over the past year, and you're going to get to see that with a little bit more. So the people that have purchased the courses are going to get the updates for free. So if you want to get the updates and get more, because that's how the courses are working, is that it's not a one and done. They will get updates, just like a GPS chip. So as I have time, then I'm able to do the updates. And I literally don't sleep much. So I really work a lot. And when I do and like yesterday, I just needed some time to decompress. So the only way I can do that is to be without clients. And I also get to try new stuff, and that's what I did yesterday. And I got to do some filming for the new downrigger course to show people the new downrigging stuff that I'm doing, new rods, new setups as far as what I'm using, how I'm angling the stuff, and just a few things. I'm not going to share the details. So show you what else I did with the planers. So I'm going to show that stuff in the update as well. So it's the downrigging course. It's the Wahoo Slayer series. So purchase that course, because then I'm going to raise the price after I do the updates, because there's a lot of valuable information in that course as far as how I run the Halco lures, some strategies for the bait strips and changing stuff out. There's a lot more to it that I don't talk about, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So the Wahoo bite yesterday, a lot of fun yesterday for me. I got my bites in the morning. Like I talked about in my last podcast, I got the bites on the pink and white and the pink baits yesterday morning. The water was green, so you really got to have that pink in there. So it's just been what they want, it's just how it is. I've seen a change in the colors over the years, so that's something that I talk about in the rigging crew and that we go into. And I make my own lures. So I don't buy any lures anymore. I quit buying Wahoo lures 2 years ago. I think it's been right around COVID. So when COVID, I started making, when the first quarantine went into place, I started making my own Wahoo baits and tying my own sea witch hair and all that good stuff. I got to tell you what, man, there's nothing like catching a big Wahoo on a bait that you've tied yourself, it is a really good feeling. And yesterday was on one of my homemade baits, one of the baits that I make personally. So it's just awesome. It's making lures is something that I really, really enjoy. It's a good way to decompress. It's just a lot of fun to tie and create your own. And I love it. It's just, there's no better feeling in the world than catching a big wahoo on a bait that you've made yourself. And that's what I've been using. I've been using, I use the Halcos and all that good stuff. So yesterday, the bites came on my bait, and I'm running it using the downrigger. I mean, that's it. I'm high-speed downrigger fishing. I'm running planers at like 11 miles an hour off my downrigger. That's where the bites came. I put the baits down deep. They didn't eat the surface baits, I can tell you that much. The water's so green on the bottom, and yeah, you can get them in the morning, but once the sun comes up, man, those fish head down below that surface layer. Most of the fish I were marking, they were way down there, and if you get your planers down deep about 30, if you can get them down 30, 40 foot, I was running planers probably around down 30 foot yesterday. I'm getting zero blowback with some of the new things that I'm doing. So, yeah, they pull hard, man. The angle of that downrigger gets those baits down there. And that's another trick is that if you're going to run a planers are only good for a certain point, man. And when it's really wavy, your planer rides up into the wave. So you really got to get that bait down to where it stays. So there's lots of tricks and stuff. And I'm really going to show you guys that I'm going to show you the new stuff I'm doing and some updates and stuff. So anyway, so that's where my bites came, was on the downriggers. I'm running the planers. Some people caught some fish early in the morning. I had my bites all throughout the day. I had them up until 2 o'clock. The thing was, I waited it out to the tide. Everybody seemed to go home. Everybody cleaned out. And then once everybody cleaned out, the fish started biting again at around close to the high tide, around 2. I think that's when it was. Don't quote me. But yeah, so the really good bite has been if you can get up north Molasses Reef, just north of Molasses, out in front of the French Reef area, between Molasses and French. I would focus on that area. There's been a good bite of wahoo there, but you got to be down there first. So it seems to be they are congregating right there right now. It's just a good area where the bait's at and stuff. So there was a few nice fish caught yesterday. You'll see all the boats down there. It's no secret anymore about that area. It is what it is up there. Just be careful all the crab pot buoys and people zigging and zagging. And you got a lot of new people, new captains, new recreational guys, and one guy gets aggressive with the other, and it's just a kind of a shit show place to fish anymore. So I don't really mess with it. And then you got the spear divers that are just hopping in the water up there in the middle of the ocean, because that's where the boats are at. So they figure that's where the fish are at. So they just hop in. So you have to watch out for that stuff too. So my fishing tip for you guys is learn how to run the planers deep. Purchase my downrigging course. There's going to be an update, like I said. Also, too, guys, I'm finishing up the grouper bonus for my new Reef Course. My new Reef Course is available. It was in pre-book, and part 1 was tackle. I share the exact tackle that I'm using. And what else? So I'm finishing up the grouper bonus, which will be available in about another day or so, maybe a Monday. I'm going to be doing some on the water stuff here. Just teaching some people, doing tricks, and I'm gathering all the videos that I've been putting together on angles. And within the course, I'm really showing you guys underwater structure. I'm showing you guys area. Like I've got some really good stuff, and I can't share it because there's too many copycats out there. So that's where I'm at with it. What else? Yeah. So once the grouper bonus gets released, like I said, it's a 3-part course. So I would highly recommend you guys purchase that course, especially if you're new to reef fishing. If you have a new boat, it's really good. I really am loving making this course, so I'm putting a lot of stuff in there for you guys. And one more tip for the wahoo fishing, like I said, contrast of a lure is extremely important. But everybody's like using the bright pink lure, like lure hair, and sometimes they want that They want that they want the skirted islander style lures versus they want the squid lures. There's all different things. I would highly recommend, in order to get contrast into a lure, you really got to buy a lure that has some really good mylar in there. I'm a big believer in mylar. I put tencel in all my lures. I just really do believe that little bit of tencel. Don't overkill it on the bling. There is a thing called overkill on the bling. If you add too much shit to it, it's not natural. So you really gotta. I do believe in using less hair in my lures. I really want that, and also too, when you're fishing dirty water, I really suggest that. I mean, I fish ballyhoo, and when you're fishing a bait fish combined with a lure, you're giving a better silhouette, you're casting more of a shadow. Okay, that's very important. Okay, very important is that when you're fishing a bait that has that doesn't have a ballyhoo on it, is it really giving you that actual silhouette of a bait fish too? So when you buy ballyhoo, make sure it has the fluorescent tail that's really bright orange, okay, and the tips are really black, because I do believe that bait fish have the black tips, and the fish are really attracted to those, how the bait fish swim, and they really hone in on those black black tip tails. So just something to think about. If you're fishing lures, you can try coloring your lures with some black at the end of the tips. If you're fishing a plug, one thing the old timers used to do, they used to paint the bottoms of the lures black to give it more of a silhouette profile. Black is blacks and pinks are great colors for darker fish in those, like that green stained water. If you can't get your baits deep, they got to be able to see the shadows. Fishing trolling leads, guys, that shit does not get you down very deep at all. If you're high speed trolling, the blowback, those leads come up super high, so they're only getting you down a few feet. So you better have the right contrast in your lures. If one thing I don't recommend is like be honest with you guys gotta match the hatch out there. If you don't see a lot of flying fish, don't put the blue and whites in the water. It is what it is. For me, if the wind's out of the southeast, then I usually see more flying fish, more frigates, and boom, I put the blue and whites in. So just something to think about. And yeah, pinks and black and some green, and also to match the green color water. I talk a little bit about the type of green that I like. And just remember, bait fish shift colors. Okay, they camouflage themselves. So you really got to think about that stuff when you're matching your lures up to fish green water. If you can't get it down to where the blue water's at, I mean, it's there. Unless it's really nasty. So I mean, if you're marking fish and you're marking them right above the thermocline, there's blue water down there. It's just like, this is what it is like every year, man. It's just the water quality is kind of shitty. So doesn't mean there's no fish. I saw a lot of guys running all over looking for blue water yesterday. I was like, oh man, you've been watching too much YouTube. So, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Follow me on Instagram, Good Karma Sportfishing _FL_keys. And yeah, that's all I got. You guys have a good one. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.